So today we'll be going over the Firefly Funhouse match and all the backstage details that happened with it, as well as the new reveal that Bray Wyatt is Braun Strowman's first challenger. So it looks like we know now who Braun Strowman will be facing in the near future, and that is Bray Wyatt. This really caught me by surprise. All the reports and everyone else was claiming that the Fiend didn't need the title and that Bray could go on without the championship. Also, considering that he just got out of the title picture, it was just so unexpected, at least for myself, for him to be back in the title picture so soon. But it sets up a great matchup that already has a lot of backstory right off the bat. Story being that Strowman was brought into the WWE scene under Bray Wyatt's wing as a Wyatt family member, but Braun broke away from that group and did his own thing by himself, and it looks like Bray Wyatt was a little offended by that. WWE has put themselves into a pretty hard spot here once again because it's difficult to pick a winner in this matchup. Does Braun Strowman defeat the Fiend and add another loss to the Fiend's record, or does Bray pick up the win by making him lose on his first title defense? The Fiend is technically coming off a huge WrestleMania win over John Cena, but don't forget that Strowman is also coming off a WrestleMania win over Goldberg. So these two are both coming off huge WrestleMania wins over WWE legends. So it makes this match nearly impossible to pick. It's kind of like a lose-lose situation. I don't want to see Strowman lose the title on his first title defense, but I don't want to see the Fiend take another loss either. So it's pretty rough. Maybe WWE wasn't expecting to lose Roman Reigns and didn't really have much planned for Strowman as champion. So they're reverting back to Bray Wyatt as champion? It's hard to tell at this moment, but that question will definitely be answered in the coming weeks. The Fiend is technically undefeated against everyone who has wronged him in the past, and even though Strowman falls under that category of people who have wronged him, Bray has never faced Strowman. So it's still a fresh matchup despite their long history together. So now let's talk about that Bray Wyatt and John Cena cinematic match. Cinematic matches are starting to come to the forefront in the WWE because of the circumstances that WWE is dealing with of having no crowds. WWE has turned to these cinematic matches as a nice change in scenery from empty arena matches, and they've been well received for the most part. AJ Styles, who took part in the WrestleMania Boneyard match, broke his silence and revealed his thoughts about the cinematic matches. I think as far as cinematic matches go, I think less is more. If we do these all the time, then I think they're not special. So we got to watch out with how many matches we do. I think every now and then it's a good thing. As great as it was, I don't think it's something we should do a lot because we'll ruin it. I'm not saying the matches, but it's special. AJ Styles completely nailed it there. We're loving the cinematic matches right now, but WWE has to be careful to not overuse them in the future. If we had a whole event of cinematic matches, then it would no longer be anything special. But if we have about just one of them every pay-per-view event, then that might be perfect. Like AJ said, less is definitely more when it comes to these sort of matches. So let's go over that one that has had the most mixed reactions from fans. And that's the Firefly Funhouse match between John Cena and Bray Wyatt. Everyone loved the Boneyard match because it just had a great scenery, told a great story, was a great matchup between Undertaker and AJ Styles. However, Bray Wyatt and John Cena's match really wasn't much of a physical match. The Firefly Funhouse match was more of a trip down memory lane and consisted of Bray Wyatt just playing his mind games with Cena, and Cena had no idea how to overcome Bray, especially in this sort of match. Bray Wyatt had the home court advantage, so to speak. John Cena was stepping into Wyatt's playground, and that's why it was impossible for Cena to do anything throughout the match. Wyatt was in full control of Cena the whole time. We get a hint at this during the Cena flashback to his rapping days. Cena tries to speak, but realizes that Bray is only letting him speak through rhymes. So that's why Cena turns to rapping in order to communicate and insult Bray. So yeah, it wasn't a wrestling match at all, and pretty much was a look back at both of their careers, and had a lot of what-if scenarios, especially John Cena's heel turn. We went all the way back to Cena's debut, then all the way back to current-day Cena. For Bray Wyatt, we went all the way back to the Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt. Cena did make a mention of Bray's former Husky Harris persona, but we didn't see that character come up during the flashbacks. However, it was still really great to see old school Bray Wyatt. Seeing and hearing his old transition screen, his old attire, the rocking chair, it was all great to see that era of Bray Wyatt briefly in this match. Another great moment of the match was when we hear Cena's promo from the Smackdown leading up to WrestleMania, in which he says that's what's going to happen at WrestleMania, is going to be something that should have happened about 6 years ago. And that's putting an end to the most overhyped and overprivileged superstar in the WWE. Of course, in that original promo, John Cena was referring to Bray Wyatt, but in the Firefly Funhouse match, the camera zooms in close on Cena's face, and that line about the most overhyped and overprivileged superstar plays again in the background, with the camera being on Cena's face while the line was playing. It was as if Cena was talking about himself. It was really a deep moment in the match. That line was supposed to be about Bray, but the way Bray flipped it and used it against Cena as if he was talking about himself the whole time was pretty brilliant. So let's talk about the backstage reaction and the fans' reaction. It seems that a lot of fans didn't enjoy it because it was advertised as a match, and, well, they never really actually fought. So that left a lot of fans disappointed, and they all preferred the Boneyard match over Bray and Cena's match. The backstage reaction from the superstars was pretty much the same way as the fans. The superstars loved the Boneyard match, but couldn't really get behind the Firefly Funhouse match, and it's now being reported that we likely won't see another Funhouse match due to the reaction this first one received. But there are some superstars that love the match. Big Show recently revealed his thoughts about the match and revealed that he would love to compete in one, so that he could take a look back at his career moments. Big Show had this to say: "I know I would sign up for the same kind of program if I was working with Bray Wyatt. I would definitely sign up to have my mind picked apart. I think it would be very entertaining to go through that and do that tortured perspective of trying to convey the hurt, pain, and frustration. For that to come full circle and tell that story and take the fans on this incredible journey of what might have been, of what could be, and John Cena to basically live his worst nightmare, it showed his talent and dedication. It was great for Bray. I think it opened a door to be more entertaining in so many different ways." So it looks like Show would definitely be down for that match. In today's bonus story, we'll be taking a look at how Goldberg vs. Roman Reigns almost happened at the last second. What are your thoughts on these stories? Leave your comments. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.